but I actually got those put on your pull list. But you never really went back there for single issues.
Oh yeah, no, I've never done a pull list, so
That happened. And Hey, Christian.
hello Leslie.
Oh, once again, the girl names. That's awesome.
Yeah,
We actually have an audience this time, so this is going to be interesting.
yes, an audience of one.
Audience, we need our applause.
Insert sitcom. Yeah.
But so Christian and I read a book again. I know we can read. Or
We
we
read
smart.
it.
We've been educated. We read. What did we read, Christian?
We read My Little Pony,
Yes.
Great Adventure. We read the first Hellboy series.
Yes. Seed of Destruction. Hellboy is a. How would you describe Hellboy? I would say he's a paranormal detective, basically from hell. He's.
Hence the name.
Yeah. How do you describe it? Well, he's created by. I'm gonna probably slaughter his name, Mike Mignola. I hear his last name
That
said.
sounds right.
Yeah, I always hear it said differently though. But Mike Mignola created Hellboy out of a whim. There's a drawing. I think I can show you, but there's a drawing he made of the character way back in the day that he didn't expect anything to happen from it. Just a little drawing. They drew at a con.
Is that the one at the back of the book? Yeah.
Yeah, right there. Boom, that one right there. He just drew it.
It kind of almost reminds me of Etrigan from DC.
Oh yeah,
Etrigan the Demon.
the Ryman Demon.
Yeah.
Did he rhyme all the time? or was-
Ryman Demon.
Did he rhyme all the time? Or was it just in the animated TV show? Because
I think it was his shtick. I think it was all the time.
how taxing was it for the writer? Because Jack Kirby, I believe Jack Kirby is the sole creator of that character,
I think so. Yeah.
and I could be wrong. I probably am, but it was funny because he probably did it to like, he probably wanted his character for Stan Lee just like out of spite.
Right,
Just
yeah.
like, here, write this character,
Yeah.
Stan.
Oh, by the way, he rhymes all the.
Oh, it's not
He's
Excelsior.
like Dr. Seuss, Demon Dr. Seuss.
But we read Hellboy: Seeds of Destruction by Mike Mignola. It's a 4-issue miniseries that I actually own. I believe it was 1994 or 93 when it came out. Was it
Yeah,
94?
93.
93? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing Hellboy for the first time actually in a comic book store in Easttown, or a bookstore in Easttown. It was just on a shelf. I thought, man, that character looks cool. It was actually these books, the single issues. Now, I didn't buy them at that time. I own them now, but I didn't buy them. Yeah. When was your first introduction to Hellboy? I kind of think I know what it is, but like everyone else,
I mean, what do you think it is?
I think it's the movies.
That was probably, yeah, I think it was that first one with
Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman. Yeah, it was like.
I love the art direction of Guillermo del Toro's style, like Pan's Labyrinth and all that. I like his dark fairy tale whimsical look, but I hate Hellboy the movies. I hate them.
They haven't done a good one yet, have they?
They've made 4. They have Hellboy 1. They have Hellboy the Golden Army, which was nothing from the books at all. It was all written just for the movies. Then there is the remake with David Harbour.
Yeah.
That one.
Never saw that one.
It's don't watch it until you finish the series because they're taking Nimue, the Blood Queen, and she's a key character to the end of the Hellboy storyline, which is really weird. They started a new reboot with the last story of Hellboy, which not a good idea. But the movie, not good. It was apparently a production nightmare for the director. He had no say in what happened. Then they made like straight to video Hellboy, the Crooked Man.
I saw that one. I fell asleep during that.
Wow, you fell asleep through a movie? That's a shocker.
That's kind of my MO.
Yeah.
By the way, did we want to introduce our guest? I feel kind of bad.
You can feel bad.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah, we
Sorry,
have a special guest for our next episode. He's just chilling here. Do you want to say something quick? No, you can't.
We'll flash his face on camera.
1, 2, 3. And yeah, y'all, we have my boy in for an episode to persuade us to read or watch anime. So he will be in the next episode. So if you like anime, convince us to watch
Stick
it.
around. Oh yeah, there's a good little caveat.
And if you do like anime, write in the comments section which one's your favorite.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Yu-Gi-Oh! Ice Wolf. That's one of our subscribers, Yu-Gi-Oh! Ice Wolf. I think.
Do you know them personally, or?
I don't know who it is.
Oh,
I'm not sure. They've
I
never.
like the name.
Yeah, it's a mystery. But yeah, continuing from there. I don't like Hellboy in the Ron Perlman ones because he seems like a teenager, really whiny, and he falls in love with Liz Sherman, who's in these stories, but she's not his love interest whatsoever in the books.
Really?
Yeah.
I felt in this one that she kind of was like, there was a little bit of like he was overzealous about her, but
Maybe I don't know if that was in Mike's. Mike and I had a first name basis. Mike. I don't know
Mikey.
oh, Michael. I don't know if that was his intention. It might have been, but I didn't get any of those vibes. But this reeked of like 90s style in a good way. It reeked of like clothing of the 90s, like Liz. How she
for
was
sure,
like that.
yeah.
Like, she looked like she just read an Anne Rice book or watched Interview with the Vampire, like
Yeah.
that, like Victorian Gothic
yeah,
style.
I do like that.
Like yeah, I like it. I really like the art style of.
Like we're reading my childhood.
Yes. Well, what do you think? Because this, how many times have you read this? Because I've read it like 100 times. Hellboy's one of my favorite stories.
This is my second, or third read through.
You can see the book's a little beat up,
Yeah.
but what did you? What was your takeaway?
Well, it's funny. I mean, I didn't.
Was it funny?
It
Was it?
funny. It was hilarious. I downloaded it on the iPad just because I have like this free app, Hoopla. Shout out to Hoopla.
Oh, I thought it said Poopla.
Poopla?
What's your name?
No, that's a different app, Wes.
That's a different.
It keeps you regular.
It's a whole other app. Totally
Yeah.
different app.
I haven't pooped in 6 weeks. What's going
Hey, get Poopla.
on? Yeah.
Consult your doctor.
Yeah.
You pooped in 7 weeks.
Sponsor us, Poopla, if you actually exist.
We might have to make that into an actual app.
we should do an advertisement.
Well, we did.
Yeah.
We
I haven't pooped in 7 months, but then I found Poopla.
and I've been pooping every day. I can't stop pooping. Actually, I want to stop. Please send help. Back to Hellboy.
Yeah, no. So I downloaded this on Hoopla. If you guys have that, it's like through the library, but they have like 130 something Hellboy books. It's like, oh, sweet. So reading on the iPad was kind of a different vibe too, because you can like zoom in on stuff, and my eyes are getting bad. Yeah. I'm not even sure who I'm talking to right now.
Do you ever wear your glasses? Do your kids?
I
hide
forgot I'm on the way.
Oh, you're still in that phase of forgetting your glasses. I've done that a few times.
I rarely do it, but yeah, it does happen.
I got all the way to work one time. I'm like, why can't I see well? Oh, my glasses are out.
Right. Why did I run over that old lady?
Well, I was aiming for her.
Yeah. She deserved it.
She gave me a dirty look. Old bag of bones.
Yeah. Oh, and I would like to apologize because I'm coming off of a cold. Hopefully, coming off of a cold.
If not, I will be. If not, I will be having a cold.
Yeah. Wes always tries to kiss me.
Yeah. With tongue.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got sick on purpose so it wouldn't happen again.
Oh, that's not going to stop me.
Right.
I got a good immune system.
Yeah.
So your thoughts of the art style of Hellboy? Because Mike Mignola.
The art style.
Because a quick side note to that. So the original stories, I mean, Mike Mignola created the character, but he had help from, do you remember who helped him?
Well, you said John Byrne, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The great John Byrne. I mean, all the X-Men with Chris
X-Men
Claremont.
fame, yeah.
He helped him write it. So I did see in the first volume of Hellboy, you see a lot of words, very wordy. Then you go to they do a lot of tell with show. But when Mike Mignola takes over completely, it's a lot of show.
Yeah, he's
not
more
tell
the
so
artsy,
much.
which
Yes.
I appreciate that.
No,
yeah.
I do too. So I'm sorry, I'll let you keep talking about the art style.
Yeah, as far
and
as
I'll shut up.
As the art style goes, I love the kind of like high contrast, like lots of spot blacks. Maybe you can show some Ken Burns effect.
Yeah, you throw it up there now. Do this. Go. Throw it up.
Oh yeah.
Wow,
Right
look
there.
at that.
Magic. Rasputin.
Wes in the future? Sorry about that.
Foreshadowing. But yeah, no, I just love like the high contrast, like spot blacks everywhere. Like just very suggestive shapes. Not in like a
No, I'm mopping what you're
sexual
spilling.
way, but yeah.
I smell what you're stepping in.
And then just like lots of like colors that are just kind of like, oh,
Yeah,
that's an interesting color.
I like when, I mean, we open up to the year, I mean, was it December 23rd, 1940? Yep, December 23rd, 1944. It opens up. It's during World War II. We have a few. It's in the army, which we're gonna say some things that hopefully YouTube doesn't flag us for. There are Nazis in this.
Nazis.
Nazis. So this group of army personnel and their version of a Captain America.
Elon Musk is in here.
Giving his heart out to people. We meet some army personnel and 3 paranormal investigators. Basically, you have, which this is what always bugged me about Trevor Broomholm. Hit the spelling of his name. That bugs me. Like
With a is it with a U? I forget.
Well, it's in the book it says Trevor. From that, like if you were to sound it out, it would say Brutenholm.
Oh yeah.
But Mike Mignola puts in parentheses, pronounced Broom. It's like, then why not just have that in the first place?
I read that as like it was his nickname.
Well, no, it's pronounced Trevor Broomholm. It's not Brutenholm. Have you watched the movies?
Not recently.
Oh well, I stomached watching those again.
Yeah, that's weird. Maybe that's like a weird German thing.
I don't know. It might be actual.
Help us out, German listeners, if you know.
But we open up to those individuals, and they are saying there's going to be something happening in this area. Something profound is going to happen in this one spot because of Rasputin is basically summoning a creature. And what would you think of the shot of Rasputin and the
first time you see him?
I think it's pretty cool.
That was cool. Had they addressed that that's who he was at this point? I don't think so.
I don't think they did.
But I do. That's the thing I appreciate about this series, and probably lots of people is like the tie-in between history.
Yeah,
and it's like a historical fantasy fiction type thing.
Historical fiction, I'd definitely say, because I mean, we even have characters like equivalent to Captain America, the Torch of Liberty.
Yeah.
Which I found out why he's not in any more issues after this, because it's a John Byrne character. Basically, that was a little shout out to John to say thank you to John Byrne by putting his character in the book,
right?
Which I thought was kind of cool.
That's cool.
But it's summoned the little red guy with a stone fist. Hellboy was summoned to Earth in that day, and they think Rasputin fails, but does he fail? No.
Theoretically, no. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't at the spot they thought it would be, because they're in a different location.
Yeah.
But I'll let you take it away. So from there,
but Hitler saw that as a failure.
Yeah.
It was the big emphasis in that point.
Yeah. But it's based in modern day, but back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, I'm guessing you like the shot of when you're in Trevor Broomholm's office. You like that first shot. You're in his home.
Yeah.
So you kind of like that. A lot of dark shadowing.
That was cool.
A lot of Mike Mignola said like he doesn't like to draw like airplanes and stuff like that. He likes to draw more like designs like this, more of like the cult or more monsters, if you will.
Right. Yeah. No, I do like that. Yeah, I had to do like some accounting too, because they jump around and they don't really like explicitly say where they are. They're like, oh, this was about 50 years after this event.
Oh, you get that? Because I wonder if I've read it so much, I don't think about
probably ingrained in you. Yeah. I kind of had to do a little bit of a counting on my fingers, but
yeah, give me first person perspective of reading for like the second time. What, in that sense, like where'd you get confused? What did you like? What did you not like?
No, I mean it's like reading or watching or reading, yeah, whatever. Anything over again. It's like, oh, you definitely pick up on some stuff. Like I didn't even pay attention that I think later on in the book, Abe was wearing a mask and a beard,
a Groucho Marx style.
And it's like until it happened, then I was like, oh,
well, that's in the next volume, the next issue.
Yeah,
we'll get in that one in a second. But we enter into the office of Broomholm, where he's an elderly old man. Because back in World War II, he was a younger man. Obviously, now he's an old man. He seems a little dementia-ridden, like our old president.
Right.
But he can't remember where he was, how he got there. And Hellboy is like his son. He's trying to comfort his adopted father. But what I like about Mike Mignola, he takes weird, quirky things like frogs start raining from the sky, and that's a sign of like,
Yeah, a
mayhem,
bad
destruction. Yeah, bad omen. I like that. He takes weird little things like that and throws it into the book.
omen. Yeah, and this says it's 35 years past, or that's what
35 years.
Broomholm. So what 89, 1989.
Dude, I can't do math.
When they're, I know that's where I had to like count it out, and then yeah, I think Hellboy corrects him or something later, but
Yeah. Well, he sees frogs and he's like, "Get out of here! Run for your life! Save yourself!"
Yeah.
And he comes back, and I mean, in the movies, Broomholm is a large part of it. Well, not a large part, but he's in the movie a long time. You expect him to be around much longer, but he dies within the first spoilers. He dies within the first few pages of the book.
right.
And I love the monster design of what Hellboy chases. Hellboy's narrating what's happening. He goes, "I don't." What did he say? He goes, I'd be the first to admit that I have the short. I'll be the first to admit that I have no short of faults, but he's actually bags on himself a lot. He talks bad about himself.
Yeah, I almost read it as like he's rewatching these events in his mind.
Yeah,
and he's kind
that's
of like,
good.
I would do this differently. Like,
Well, Mike Mignola said this character is based after his dad a little bit. His dad was a bricklayer, and a single dad. I think his wife passed away, if I remember correctly. You got to watch that Mike Mignola a documentary on Amazon Prime. It's really good.
oh yeah,
I think it's called Making Monsters or something like that. Cool. It's really good. I enjoyed it. He goes into like how Hellboy was a little bit based after his dad, his personality of the gruff, like working man. He's a working man. But what'd you think of this monster design of the frog creature when he runs in headfirst into the dark?
yeah. I think the line you're looking for was what was it? Oh, and when I get angry, I do sometimes do stupid things.
Yeah. That's
and
sorry.
running into a pitch black room is one of them, basically.
I might be strong, but I might be stronger than an average man, but don't mean I can see in darkness better than him, something like that.
Yeah.
And what'd you think of this
The
frog?
monster design?
Yeah, what'd you think of him?
I thought it was cool. Like he's very like all of his monsters. I think he does a good job of making them like somewhat familiar, but also like unnerving.
Yeah,
like they're.
I mean, like Uncanny Valley kind of thing.
Yeah, they're like they have some human attributes, so they're like, oh, can you relate to them? But they want to kill you.
There's one specific shot that I can throw up on the screen that is kind of not haunting, but it's like that's just if you were to see that in real life, you'd be like that. No, don't think so. So many no's in that sentence.
It's a big nope.
But we go on. What kind of irks me a little bit is this: Trevor Broomholm raised Hellboy from a child to however old he is now, because Hellboy ages much slower than your average human.
Right.
So he's kind of like, my dad died. Moving on.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's no mourning.
Yeah, it's like, dad's dead.
But I feel like
That's how I was when my mom died. I'm like, mom's dead.
Yeah. I'm gonna fight this frog now.
Pew! Ribbit. I like how he even specifies like he fights a frog creature, and he hears it, and the frog monster wants to get away. And I like how he describes he bolts for the closest window. It happens to be the bathroom. I don't know why. The fact that he has to tell which room it is kind of like
Maybe he just had to go to the bathroom.
maybe like when you gotta go, you gotta go. I don't know. Maybe kind of chuckle about that. Like it's dumb, but I thought it was cool. But
Froggy in the bathroom.
yeah. So and the issue ends, and I thought it was an odd cliffhanger, but interesting. We see an old woman sitting in a room alone with a dark, shadowy figure behind her talking, and we see her sipping her tea, and out pops a little frog. That's the end of issue 1 of Seed of Destruction.
Yeah.
So I know we're going pretty fast. This wasn't going to be a 2-parter. We're going to fit into 1-parter for our next episode. So
we're at about 20 minutes right now. So it's
So what did you think of the first one, the first issue?
It was good. I liked. There was a lot of exposition in
Yeah.
it, so it kind of like him talking about his stone fist and stuff. Like it was nice. It's a nice introduction to a comic book because for people who haven't, aren't familiar with
Well,
Hellboy.
I was gonna
obviously,
say no one would be because that's his first
yeah.
solo series. Because he was in his first appearance was in John Byrne's Next Men issue 21. So it was kind of weird. Like I don't know why. I like it and I don't like it because it makes no sense why he's there. It's not in the Hellboy world. It's more like a superhero world.
Yeah.
Because this is not your superhero world. This is more of your supernatural world.
Right.
But want to jump in the next issue because there's one character I know you probably like this character a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You want to describe?
Yeah. No, I just went. Well, I was gonna say too. When he shot the frog,
Yeah.
I was like, that is a sizable hole in what looks to be like a human. I was like, so I had to do some research, and apparently that's like I think it's like a 50 caliber bullet, which I think it would, like it almost seems like it would do, like the gun would have to be bigger for it to create such a hole, but I don't know if he has some sort of special ammunition or not. But
I don't know ballistics very well at all, but I do like how he goes, what falls from the top of the, what falls from the top, what's that word, dude? I'm dyslexic. What falls from the top of the commode?
Commode.
What is that? Commode?
It's like where you go potty.
Why don't you say toilet?
He's
The
being
crapper.
He's being fancy. He's trying to educate you.
Well, ain't you fancy? But I like how when he says what falls is a frog and what lands on the ground is a human, like the bones. Like it like liquefies.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of cool.
that is cool.
But,
Yeah, because and then he's playing with the skull.
yeah, he's like, woo!
Yeah.
Just what's he spinning it on? Is that a pencil or something like that?
It looks like a chopstick, but it's hard to tell.
I assumed it was like a pencil. I don't know why.
Yeah,
But there's just yellow and pointy.
yeah. And then they give a little like the other thing I appreciate about this book is they give like little like BPRD reports and stuff of like these are who the people that we're tracking.
Oh, like files and whatnot.
Yeah, so at the end of that book specifically, they're talking about the Nazis and they have like classified documents on them. So
for the audience, what is the BPRD? Do you know what it stands for?
Bureau of Paranormal Research and Defense or something.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
And now in this universe, and the correct universe, people know what this is. This is a known government organization. Hellboy is known in the world. It's not like the Men in Black effect where like you can't know about it. It's secret. No one knows about the BPRD. The movies made it seem like that. I don't like that. Like that hide Hellboy and Abe Sapien, who we'll meet later, and hide them away. Like no one can see you guys because you don't look human. You're not human. I don't like that.
Yeah, and that was probably their attempt at making him more superhero like.
Well, it was the Men in Black effect. Like it's a secret government organization you can't know about.
Right.
But you want to jump into the next issue?
Yeah, next issue.
Take us away.
Opens at Cavendish Hall, which is this like large spooky manor.
It looks like something that the Scooby Gang would walk through.
And the thing that bugged me is they don't ever explain where exactly that was. Like, is it in Alaska? Is it in England? Like,
what do you mean, Alaska? You think that's in Alaska?
No, that's what I don't know. Is like they don't describe where the heck on Earth this is.
I kind of like. I assume it's in America, but I kind of like how it's more vague. Like, oh, could be here, could not be here.
Okay.
I don't know.
Actually, okay, there's a little paragraph here. The house is called Cavendish Hall. It was built about 150 years ago by the first of the Cavendish family to come to America.
See, if you just read, Christian, you
But
find out
that's
it's
all
in
they give
America.
you. America's a big place. Like, this could be anywhere.
Nah.
There's mountains in the back, so I'm going to assume it's like, I don't know,
As long as it's not Ohio, we're okay.
Alaska.
Sorry to Ohio listeners, we're from Michigan.
But yeah, that's the setting. It's like it's built like basically on top of a lake. There's like one small little
whoever thought like that's where we're gonna build it.
Yeah, it's gotta go here.
Because it says it describes in a book that over time it slowly sinks into the ground. Yeah. Which is like, I wonder what your homeowner's insurance is
like I like it as a setting, but it doesn't seem very practical.
But this is a home of the woman we saw in the last issue. The old lady with the frogs.
Tail end, yeah.
So we are first introduced to Hellboy's giving some exposition, and we meet our other members of the BPRD. Liz Sherman, who is how do you say it? Pyrokinetic or pyrokinesis or whatever.
Yeah.
Like she can control flames. And who I assume is probably one of your favorite characters or character designs.
Liz Sherman.
Liz Sherman, you birdie. Would be Abe Sapien. Do you want to describe Abe Sapien?
Yeah. Well, yeah. In this particular instance, he's like pretty well hidden. So the first time I didn't even realize it was him until like he like disrobes. That sounds weird.
Yeah, let's not describe it like that.
And jumps in the water.
Yeah, he's wearing a fedora, glasses, and a fake beard and a trench coat.
Yeah.
But he's Mike Mignola draws him heavily shadowed.
Yeah.
Like you can't really see even like the skin color on him.
But he's a fish person.
It's like a gill man.
Kind of, yeah. And yeah, I love how he's just like sitting there
Yeah.
on the couch, like
still like we can tell it's a costume. Like,
yeah.
don't you want to take off your coat?
No, it's not a costume. Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. We can clearly see like there's like a tag
Right.
hanging from the beard from like a Party City, USA. Like
Yeah.
Nope, it's a real beard.
And I imagine he doesn't speak exactly normally as humans do too. So did he just like keep quiet the entire time he was talking to that lady, or?
Well, in the Hellboy universe, they actually explain what Abe Sapien is. I have that. It's in the BPRD comic books, which if you want to borrow it, really good.
Yeah, I'd like to know. I mean, they briefly explained that he was found like underneath a hospital.
Yes.
The day Lincoln was shot,
or
with the inscription.
Yeah, the description of when Lincoln was shot. Where page is that on? Okay, yeah. April 14, 1865 was the date that was like inscribed on like test tube thing.
Yeah.
But so, am I assuming correctly that you like the design of Abe Sapien, or are you like?
Do.
Huh?
I think he could be a little bit more like threatening, maybe, but because I feel like they make like all those kind of like water-based creatures a bit anemic, but
Well,
yeah.
your favorite universal monster is the Gill Man from Creature from Black Lagoon. Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
Slow down, but there, Wes.
which I saw something on that recently, but I forgot what it was.
Wow, great.
That's
You had to interrupt me
that's
for
the
that.
good- Sorry, yeah, no, that was just the ADD.
Wait, ooh,
Something
something's
that
shiny. Let
popped-
me chase
The
it.
thought bubble popped out of my head.
Were they remaking that movie or something?
Something like that.
I
don't
hope
I
not.
don't remember what it is though.
If they do it, they don't have the original actress. I don't care to watch it.
Yeah. Well, there is. Did you see the new Hammer film that's coming out? It's like a completely new monster. We'll talk about that
Yeah,
later
please tell me about that.
on our other podcast.
Yes,
about monster
yes.
that we haven't made yet.
Yeah,
but-
we haven't made yet. But so we hear. So it's Hellboy, Liz Sherman, Abe Sapien sitting down with Emma. How do you pronounce that last name? I've read this book 1,000 times. I always feel like I'm pronouncing it.
Cavendish.
Yes, they're sitting down because her sons went on an expedition with Trevor Brutenholm to the farthest north they could go. But in their family name.
Oh, Cavendish.
Yeah, the Cavendish men have a curse on them that they this urge to. They have a wanderlust. They have to go search for something they don't know what they're searching
Yeah,
for.
in the
They
middle
all
of
leave.
in the middle of the Arctic.
Yeah, and they all leave, and they never come home. It was like, what, 9 generations of Cavendish men have gone out, never come home. Her sons went out with Trevor, the professor. They died,
Yeah.
and she's the last. They're the last of the line, and the curse ends with them. So she's giving some like she's telling the guys of the BPRD, this is what's happening. But her butler, they recognize the butler.
Is very familiar. He
Yes.
was one of the men on the expedition with
Yes.
them. Sven Olafsson.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how to pronounce that. Some of these names.
Sven.
Even the
Dinger-dinger-durgan.
yeah, even the first Cavendish man, the whaler. How do you say his name? Because I don't know if it's a spell like
Oh, yeah, that one I'm a little bit lost
was
on
it
too.
like oopsie daisy? We spelled it wrong, or and
yeah,
just went
they
with it?
accidentally bumped a thing on the keyboard.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It's like Erhu or something.
Yeah, I don't. I have no idea his name, but he looks like he's like from the era of Pride and Prejudice age. But so we had some expedition, some clarification. So
Jenna would have been fond of him.
yes, my mom loved Pride and Prejudice. She could quote that book. She made me read it. But so they're all.
You will read this.
She did. Well, she didn't really, but I read it because of her. But so they're all brought to their rooms, and Hellboy and Abe are brought to their room. Liz gets her own room. Abe and Hellboy get their own. But this is when you find out who Abe really is. You want to give a rundown of that?
Yeah. Which the first time it totally caught me off guard because I guess I wasn't paying attention or something.
Where'd the beard guy go?
Well, because it was like, yeah, there was a bearded guy hanging out with Hellboy, and then all of a sudden I was like, I must have been tired or something. I was skimming through pages, and then all of a sudden I see Abe Sapien dive into the water. I'm like, what?
It's like you.
And then I turn back a page, and it's him like ripping off the mustache. I was like, oh,
he's holding the beard and
that was
sunglasses. Like, it's been me the whole time.
Yeah.
I like how it describes when he jumps from this very high point. He doesn't make a sound. He hits the water.
Right.
It's like
an Olympic diver.
And Hellboy holds it like a card says 10, like 9.5.
Yeah.
He did okay, but not that great.
Mm-hmm.
But then we go back to see Hellboy on the phone with Liz, and what happens here?
He's talking to her on the phone, and she mentions a frog, which you experienced earlier.
Yes.
Is a bad omen from earlier in the
Yes.
book. Hellboy had noticed, so he kind of freaks out and goes downstairs, or goes to find her.
And all he finds is Liz is a chain smoker. All he finds is
Yeah, she's always
smoking a cig. She's like, I can't put it down.
Yeah. The irony! Burning up. They explain that she burns up like an entire city block or something.
Yeah,
killing her family.
I think it's her little.
What if
brother.
it's not even related to that to her pyrokinesis? She was just a chain smoker at 11.
She probably sounds like this, like, "Hey, my name's Liz Sherman. What's going on?
Give me a smooch, Hellboy.
Give me a big old smooch." That I don't like how she's a love interest in those movies. I don't like it because she's not in the books. But so Hellboy sees the butler, who is what's the guy's name? Who's an expedition?
Sven Olafsson.
He runs into him. I like how the guy's like, "Is there a problem, sir?" Just like nonchalantly.
Yeah.
All I heard is the voice of Alfred from the Batman animated series.
Yeah.
Like, "Is there a problem, sir?" Hellboy gets mad, attacks him, and he turns into a frog creature. And they battle it out.
Not Hellboy, the other guy.
Oh yeah, clarification. He now my book's falling apart, dude. It makes me sad. But I have another copy, so it's not that sad.
He's got a backup already packaged.
I do have a lot of backups for my trade paperbacks. One's for the shelves and one's for the reading. So they had this really cool battle. Doesn't last that long, but Hellboy takes him out with a gargoyle, or it looks like a vase.
Yes.
So
the deadly vase.
What happens next? Like, we're gonna go into Abe Sapien. So you describe what's happening to Abe right now. Because the battle between the frog creature and Hellboy was very short. Cool, but short.
Yeah, so Abe was kind of swimming around looking for like a crack in the foundation, and he's like talking about, "Oh, this is like the darkest water I've ever swam in. It feels like dead people."
Yeah, enters in a skull.
Yeah,
like it reeks of death. What gave that? What gave it away there?
And yeah, he kind of waxes poetically about how deadly it feels in the waters, and I lost track of my pages. Well, I guess basically he ends up encountering that. I can't tell if it was the spirit of the oldest.
When he opens the door and he's just sitting there. Yeah, I was a little confused about that too. I like how Mike Mignola doesn't really tell you specifically.
Yeah,
I took it away as it's the spirit of him.
Yeah, that's kind of
not
what I
like
thought too.
It's just his body. It's the ghost of him. That's what I took away from it.
And he was holding on to like a harpoon or something.
Yeah, a whaling harpoon.
Which,
because the family of the Cavendishes were they got their money from whaling. Not that cool.
Whaling.
I speak whale because I'm shaped like one. Yeah. So
you're perfect the way you are, Wes.
Stop. So we go back to see Hellboy. Oh, wait, do anything else you want to add to Abe's sequence before I jump into Hellboy?
No, I mean that's about it. Yeah, he encounters that spirit of
not
one
quite
of the Cavendish boys.
Not quite yet, but yeah.
I mean that's
it kind of
does
wraps
a little
up,
bit of wandering.
Yeah. But we go back to Hellboy, and he finds Emma, but she dead. And we didn't say this in the last for the last issue, but when Trevor Broomhome fell down, the professor died. He had all these little like look like hickeys, really awkward hickeys,
chicken pox type.
Yeah, they're all over his face,
Scabs.
and it looks like he's been drained of life, like a mummy. Then we go, same thing's happened to her, and it turns out because her sons were dead and now they've been brought back to her. It turns out her sons are the ones that did it to her because they are
frog people.
Her sons came back as a frog people. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Do we ever even know what they are? It's just called the frog
people.
I don't think they ever really named them.
I'm sure there's a Wikipedia page that.
Well, they actually no, they do have them, but it's brought back in the BPRD. There's a whole story arc about the frogs. It's pretty cool, but we hear someone speak from the shadows. Who's that person speaking from the shadows?
Well, prior to her being executed.
Oh yeah, sorry.
There was a guy that it was like, "Well done, my lady. As promised, here's your sons to embrace you." And
come kiss your mother, he said, something like that.
And it is the character who summoned Hellboy.
And we still don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, they haven't introduced it yet.
I love the design of him, though. It's so cool. It's just like a D&D wizard. It kind of reminded me of the Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Remember the King of Worms? And the Mages Guild?
Yeah.
It gave me that vibe of like, he's
like classic sorcerer.
Yeah, like necromancer.
Quintessential sorcerer type guy, yeah.
So he says, he calls Hellboy creature. He's a creature. Do you remember my voice? I am your real father, the one who summoned you here. Something to that degree.
Right.
And he wants him to join Hellboy with the Agju Jihad.
Yeah. Bless you.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm swearing probably or using some like slur, but trust me, it's not. It's a lot of a lot of storytelling there.
Basically, these 7 serpents, as he calls them, that are like
biblical proportion apocalypse
cosmic
type thing.
Gods that speak to him.
I love that. I like how Mike Mignola does the more H.P. Lovecraftian.
Yeah, it's very
mad gods
very
of old. Ancient ones.
I think that's who he dedicated it to in the beginning of the book too. Was H.P. Lovecraft
and Dracula, I think it was,
and Jack Kirby, maybe.
Oh yes, we have to. Oh, later on we'll talk about the Kirby Crackle. Yeah. Yep. For Jack Kirby, H.P. Lovecraft, and his wife Christine.
No, who cares about her?
Oh yeah. But
so, if Mike Mignola, I'm really sorry, Mike.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Don't watch this.
It was a joke.
But the floor beneath Hellboy breaks and cracks, and out comes a giant tentacle. There is a search for that somewhere. But he describes it as the same. The tentacles are like the tongues of the frog creatures, because the frog creatures, when they use their tongues, it's like it numbs.
It has a numbing property.
Yeah, we kind of left it out. Sorry. So, and it also kind of painful. So it drags him down. And the last page we see the tentacle bringing him down, sucking him through the floorboard, and all you see is a stone fist reaching out, and we end issue 3.
Yeah.
Right. Should we keep going, or?
Yeah, we're at about 39 minutes.
All right. We're gonna power through these last few.
Well, we had a little bit of pre-roll before that too, or B-roll, pre-roll. Yeah.
B-roll. Oh, I'll use that for
right.
something. I don't know. But so Hellboy falls, and he thinks that he's been falling for like hours, and he hits the water and realizes like, oh, must not been
falling. We're falling.
Whale.
How appropriate would that have been as a whaling family?
Watch Kong Pao into the fist. That's all I can tell you. So, want to describe?
That's probably about 75% of our references.
Yeah. I do want to describe what happens here with Hellboy meeting the what's it called? The wizard? I think it's just what he calls him. The wizard.
Sorcerer.
Sorcerer.
Yeah.
Yeah. You take us away there, Pig Boy. Come on.
Yeah, I like this first kind of interaction. You think there's going to be a lot of exposition here. The sorcerer, I still don't think he's not really named yet.
Yeah, I don't think we get.
And he's like trying to like convince Hellboy to like be his right hand man, and Hellboy just says, get stuffed, and shoots him in the head.
I love that. He just shoots him in the head and he goes, hey, I know he goes like some degree of like, I know I'm a bad shot. Torch of Liberty said I'm the worst shot he's ever taught, but your head's gone.
Yeah.
You fall down, man.
But I do like that the next panel with the sorcerer.
I can just show that. You don't need to show it. I can just show that.
It's his comic ball. He's got his turns back and his eyes like, mangled, but it's got that weird little symbol.
Yeah, because it means nothing to us, but to him, it's just like words of power.
Yeah, some sort of infernal curse.
And yeah, Hellboy's like, whoa. He describes like getting hit by like an earthquake and a thunderstorm, like all in one kind of thing. Like he describes it something like that.
Yeah.
But I do like how we cut back to the sorcerer and his head's like steaming.
Yeah.
Like, and he's like cursing Hellboy's like, creature, you work for me. I'm the one who summoned you. I conjured you into this world, and I can wipe you from it. It's basically saying, I brought you in this world, and I'm going to take you out.
Yeah, it's like the dad about to spank you.
Yeah, this is going to hurt you more than it's going to hurt me. Liar. It always hurts the one getting paddled more. But I like, so he starts to bring up the story of does he actually explain? Yeah, he does. He explains that who the frog creatures were. He explains that those are her sons, and that the guy who led the expedition is this even big buffer frog now.
Right. The Lufwig frog. I'm a frog. I'm gonna whip your head off.
Go whip your head off and quap down your throat. There's a whole backstory. Christian and I were at a comic convention. Should I tell this? Or is it gonna make us look like bad people?
Well, if the entirety of this podcast hasn't already done that.
Yeah, we were at a comic convention and we saw Lou Ferrigno sitting alone. This was before the Avengers film, so he was not as big. He was only known for the Incredible Hulk show, not doing the voice of the Hulk for the MCU. Right. And we just saw him sitting alone, looking really sad. And we're like, look, it's lonely Lou. And we made a whole backstory about how he like so sad.
Yeah, why does no one want to visit me?
Without a friend. So yeah, so this guy's, we'll call this frog Lou. Lou Ferrigno fights Hellboy, and
Lou the frog.
We cut back. It's a quick action shot where his teeth just get gigantic, and then we cut back to Abe. You want to take us away about Abe again? What happens when he sees?
Well, I guess I got ahead of myself. Prior to meeting that spirit of the Cavendish dude, he's walking around and he sees the two frogs that embrace their mother, lowering their mother into some sort of swamp. Some sort of swampy thing.
Yeah, it looks like a bog or whatnot. It looks like they're in a tomb as well. Like you see skeletons all over the place, and not all over the place. Yeah. But I wonder if they knew what they were doing at that point. Did they know?
I think so, and they kind of explain that. Yeah, they're part of them was still human and cared about,
but they had no control over what they were doing.
Yeah.
Get my mic in more face.
And they kind of look and see Abe, and Abe kind of nopes it out of there.
He's got his hand in his gun. Like nope. Yep. That's what I like about these characters too. They're supernatural.
They make rational decisions.
Yeah, they think human, but yet because they know that they can get their tail whipped. Because he even pulls out a gun. I kind of like that. Like he's a fish man, but he's packing heat. Then we do see, however you say his name, like Elusha Cavendish, the first man. Yeah, he's holding a harpoon rifle. It looks like, or just no, it looks like just a harpoon.
It's probably Elihu.
Is that even a name?
Eli and then Hu Cavendish.
Yeah,
Elihu.
So
I'm gonna name my next cat that if I ever get a cat.
Yeah, I thought Galactus would be a cool name. Or Lobster Johnson.
Yeah.
But we cut back to Hellboy's fighting Lou Ferrigno. And what happens to Hellboy, Christian?
Lou Frogrigno.
I'm trying to say that.
Careful there.
I wasn't going there. I have to bleep that now. But what happens to Hellboy in this with Lonely Lou?
They're pretty equally yoked, or actually the frog's a wee bit stronger, and he actually gets the better of Hellboy. And Yeah, Hellboy, he beats the crap out of Hellboy, and Hellboy is just kind of lying there in front of the sorcerer, and then that's where you kind of get more sorcerer backstory.
And that's when we find out who he is yet?
I think so.
Yeah, yep, we do. He explains that he is Rasputin.
Yeah.
And he joined up with a pretty bad guy. And his name's Hitler.
Hitler.
He kind of ruined a mustache for the entire world.
Yeah.
I was chalk it up.
You can bring it back.
Yeah. Dude, Michael Jordan couldn't even bring it back. Remember Michael Jordan had a Hitler stash? and Shaq has a... Nah, man, you got to shave that.
Way to ruin it, Shaq.
Come on, Shaq. We're not laughing with Michael Jordan. We're laughing at him for having a Hitler stash. But yeah, so Rasputin gives a whole backstory, and I like the designs that Mike Mignola gave to the bad guys, like the head in the jar, the gorilla, the head in the jar with the swastika carved to his head, and all these characters. They look so cool.
Yeah.
They look like your typical bad guys from like a Justice League.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Very Batman, because Batman.
Yeah.
What's Gorilla Grodd or whatever?
Gorilla Grodd.
Grodd. Yeah. What did I say? Grodd.
Grodd.
Grodd. Yeah, they definitely look like a Batman's Rogues Gallery or something like that.
I just like them. They look so unique, so interesting, and it looks like they're just an evil team. But he cuts to the fact that he joined up, but he had all the funding. But when Hitler lost in World War II, America back-to-back champs, baby. He went up north on the same journey that all the Cavendish men and the professor took to this the statue, and I'm not sure how to pronounce it. The Sadahim statue. It looks like Lovecraftian. It looks like a Cthulhu creature.
Yeah.
So and he meditates.
Yeah. Well, I didn't notice the first time I read this that like he feasted on the souls of the other expeditioners.
Yeah, I didn't catch that either when I read the first time.
Yeah.
I rereading it, and I read it like 100 times. I'm like, oh, I guess
I guess it makes sense.
I wonder if I read it so many times that I just go, I know what this is saying. I know what this is saying, and I just don't dive back into the text.
Right.
But yeah, he feeds on them and he meditates, and he's woken up by the professor. But
yeah,
how did it say how long he was out? I don't remember. It was a long time.
I thought it was like 20. No, it would have had to have been. Well, that was like immediately after the war. So
yeah,
and then he was in that small town in Italy for a couple of years. He said.
So it had to be the same time period because Trevor, the professor.
Yeah, it's probably 35 years.
Yeah, because the professor, when he woke up, he was back in New York, jumping off a ferry, swimming to town, and that's when he's recording his thoughts when Hellboy shows up.
Right.
So that's like he's back in New York.
Yeah.
But we cut to more explaining of what's going on, and then Liz is back. So, what happens with Liz?
I guess the sorcerer's trying to harness her power
Like a battery. Like
yeah.
Kind of like Rogue from the first X-Men when Magneto uses her to power that generator. Like he's using her as a power source to channel because in the first issues he's holding a lightning rod. Mm-hmm. This time he's holding a sword. So he's trying to get that energy and that Kirby crackle, dude.
Yeah.
Love that Kirby crackle.
For sure. So. Yeah, and
in the book, the sorcerer is summoning the how to pronounce that correctly again, the Sadahim. I'm gonna slaughter that in the future. So he summons that creature, that Lovecraftian creature. The design is so killer. I love the design of it. And it's got like these weird like orb eyes with these tentacles and these like claws and crab legs.
Well, he's trying to summon the serpents, right?
Yeah, he's trying to do that, but he's feeding this creature to help him. There's a lot going on. And then Hellboy wonders, where's Abe?
Yeah.
And that's when he's knocked out by I presume the spirit of, however you pronounce his last name, Hulu? Hulu, I don't know.
Netflix Cavendish?
Yeah. Oh, well, no, if it's a Netflix Cavendish, it would be like, no, I'm going to keep that opinion to myself because I'll probably get canceled.
I think it was Elihu. Elihu. I don't know.
And that's the end of the third issue. The fourth issue kind of wraps up pretty quick.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Do you want to cover that?
Sure. Yeah. I guess in one last ditch attempt, Hellboy grabs what he thinks to be expired concussion grenade and shoves it in the.
Well, before that, he's we gotta explain what's happening. So, it looks like Liz is being hurt while she's being used because she's brainwashed right now. She's being used as like a battery, and she can't stop it. And Hellboy's in the giant tongue of Lou Ferrigno, and he can't move. But yeah, the sorcerer.
That's the title right there. The giant tongue of Lou Ferrigno. No, never mind. Actually,
I might get some trouble. So Rasputin's actually using incantation to summon the Agju Jihad. However you say that, I'm not sure how to say it properly, but it's the seven serpents. He's trying to summon them, and Hellboy is stuck. He can't fight it, but he does what to get out of there.
He happens to have grab a concussion grenade out of his pouch, and he kind of apologetically shoves it in Lou Ferrigno's beat.
Well, I like it. I like how he says it. He goes, "If you're still in there, man,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry." And boom.
Yeah, and frog guts flow everywhere.
And we keep going to we go out to outer space because the I can't say it.
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, the seven serpents are in outer space in these giant like crystal cocoons. It looks like. And you see them cracking and whatnot. And I love more of that Kirby crackle going on in outer space. He's still summoning them. And we see these aliens.
Yeah, I like the zoom out to the alien race. That's like, oh, those American idiots.
those are just Earthling idiots.
Yeah.
There's another story that I would like to buy that's about these characters.
Okay, I was wondering, yeah.
But I can't find a cheap volume. They're very expensive because it's out of print. So I can't remember what it's called. I'll just throw it up there.
I wonder if it's on Hoopla.
If it is, I would like to read that on Poopla. But it cuts back to Hellboy. He's got looks like blood on his stone fist, and Rasputin is still summoning. And then what happens to Rasputin, Christian?
Yeah, he's got his like arms raised, and then you see blood come out of his mouth, and the next page there's a harpoon directly through his chest. I'm like, sweet.
That's quite the throw.
Yeah. So Abe used the whaling harpoon from the Elihu
from Hulu.
Yeah. Netflix, Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And he chucked it through Rasputin.
I like that because I would like Hellboy to be the one to do it, but at the same time, it's like letting all the characters have their moment.
Yeah, this is kind of Abe's shining point here, I think. And then he kind of like tackles Liz away from the burning corpse of everything.
I love that because the Cavendish man, the spirit whispers, "Wake up, girl." Or it says it. It just goes, "Wake up, girl." And the panel for looking over, and you see the fire in her eyes. She's looking over, and then boom, it explodes of fire, and it's a just really cool shot. And then that's when Abe jumps down. Liz wakes up, and we gotta get out of here.
I guess I never thought about that before, but is that Liz's doing all the fire?
Yeah, that's what I assume.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, it looks like she's burning him up, and we get more story of the alien creatures and whatnot, or the alien, the how do you describe like what could have been and all that jazz. But we'll cut to the final fight between Rasputin and Hellboy. What do you think about that? I mean, I love these action shots of like Rasputin look like he's vomiting up like fire on him. Yeah. And he doesn't look like he's in good shape.
No, he looks kind of like a Lich King from
from
D&D or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think my favorite is where he like punches him into a skeleton. Like as he punches him, he turns into a skeleton.
Yeah, I like how he goes. Rasputin's like, if you destroy me, I like how every bad guy doesn't say like kill. He goes destroy. Like if you destroy me, you'll never know what you are. You'll never know your true potential.
Like that wouldn't work in a real life. Like if someone like pulls out a gun on you, you can't destroy me.
Bam. Maybe you can.
Yeah,
but
I was wrong.
I like what Hellboy says. He goes, yeah, you're right. Like Rasputin goes like, "You'll never know what you are. You'll never understand the power you hold." Stuff like that. And he goes, "Yeah, you're right." And he punches him into a skeleton, and Hellboy goes, "But I can live with that."
Yeah.
And Rasputin, even though he's a skeleton, he's still talking.
Yeah, I feel like he's more of a spirit at that point, anyways. But
Yeah. And then we see the Cavendish home explode, and we kind of wrap up with the characters all having their little nice moments. They realize they've won. Hellboy reflects on the fact that what am I? A little bit. He sees like a glimpse of Rasputin's gross, nasty face.
Yeah, the echoey voice of Rasputin.
Now, these last few pages, what'd you think of these ones?
With the zooming out to the, I think it was a nice kind of subtle foreshadow to maybe possible.
Did you understand what they were in? Because I didn't really understand the first time reading it until I heard Mike Mignola talk about it. Do you know what? Because we cut back to some of Rasputin's right-hand men in like the Arctic climate.
Yeah.
And a Nazi castle, and we hear beep, beep, and beep, and it cuts to, it looks like, I thought it was like a portal when I first watched it, that they're walking through a portal. And when I first watched it, when I first read it, what do you think it is? What did you think they were in?
I just assumed it was like some sort of cryogenic chamber.
Okay, that's what it is. I did not think that when I first saw that.
Yeah. I
assumed
didn't notice the beeps until you mentioned it, but
like they're being thawed out.
Yeah.
And
they're on defrost.
Put in the microwave.
Yeah.
Defrost.
Yeah, what if it short circuits and just cooks them?
Well, then there would be no other volume.
Hellboy just finds them.
Yeah. So that's Hellboy, Seeds of Destruction. It ends right there.
Yeah.
Leaves us on a cliffhanger. So Christian, wrap up thoughts. What do you think?
A great book. You should totally check it out.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Christian and I might be doing some different things on this channel. We might actually do a playlist dedicated to, if you guys like this, let us know. We'll do playlists dedicated to comic books. You correct me if I'm wrong. Playlists dedicated to video games, monsters.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, man?
Yeah, no, I think that's a good route because we, as neurodivergent ADHD people, have a tendency to
get sidetracked very easy.
Yeah, so we want to try and narrow down the scope of our topics to specific things that people can specifically tune into to try and kind of,
like, if you have a book suggestion you want us to read, a comic books, please, mostly comics. It helps dyslexic people like myself know what's going on. But if you have some, let us know. But
Wes really likes brony comics, so
hey.
Yep, and that's our time. Thank you.
No, we're not ending on that. I do have to end on a quick story about what I did to you one time.
I know, I'm getting you back.
So what happened one time at a comic book shop that we used to go to, the owner was cashing us out. And the owner's typically not at the shop. He's at another shop down, and I think, we won't say where they're located because it might give away what the shop is. But the other location further from us. Now, I didn't mean to do this. I jokingly did this, and Christian's at the counter talking to the guy, and I go, "Oh yeah, Christian, they got My Little Pony comics for you to read." And Christian goes, "I don't read those." He doesn't, but
or do I?
But the owner's like, "Oh man, you like My Little Pony? Don't worry, man. We accept everyone here. You want your brony?" And Christian's like, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not." But I actually got those put on your pull list, but you never really went back there for single issues.
Oh yeah, no, I've never done a pull list. So.
That happened, and on that note, thank you for joining Deep Fried Wizard. We're out. Look.
Oh,
Just.
well, this podcast.
No, we're doing that 1 second. So, or remember, we're gonna do some candid shots. We didn't do that last time. You're gonna see something very weird happen to Skywalker. You'll be the first to witness this. So one, I'll just do this.